What's going on, guys? Andy T here with another episode of Formula 1 2014 Career Mode. Hope you've all had a good Easter and now ready for some F1. Today I am at the Bahrain circuit, which is one of my strong circuits, to be honest. Bahrain, I do like it. I'm very quick around here, generally have some good pace. So hopefully we can see if we can have a regular Grand Prix and hopefully get another decent points haul like last time out to Malaysia. Also coming up in the next couple of days, I will have some Call of Duty Black Ops 2 gameplay and some more FIFA videos. Sorry about the delay, I've not really had much time to do voiceovers at the minute. I've got all the edits ready, but just need to do some voiceovers. So I'll have some Call of Duty Black Ops 2 because me and my mate have just had some incredible games with a lot of VSATs. So that'll be coming up in the next few days. But back to now, we've got Bahrain. I'm looking forward to Bahrain. I do like these night races, and the cars are very nice, and like the reflection that you get off the cars. And I'm looking forward to having another good race like last time. Hopefully I'll have some good overtakes. Because I know you all like to see overtakes much better than just seeing me leading from the front, trying to defend all the time. It's better when I have overtakes, makes it more interesting. So set up today again, it's similar setup, 4-3 on the wings. Braking high as usual, balance 1-11, suspension 1-1, 11-11, because that really did work out well for us last time in Malaysia. Had a good stability in the car, and I really did get a good feel for it, and as you saw last time out, I was able to get a victory. So I was contemplating doing it with 3 on it, but I thought now, don't have any R&D objectives today. Nothing really much happened in the session, but I did have some good pace compared to everybody else. A 36.1 there compared to a 37.4 of Lewis Hamilton. So there was some very good pace in the car in free practice. So hopefully I'm able to transform this into really good race pace. At this point as well, I was sort of contemplating whether to in qualifying, whether to qualify in the third part of qualifying 3, whether to start on 10th place and then try and fight through, maybe a different strategy to everybody else, just so then you guys can see some overtakes and see me relentlessly chasing after everybody else, just to make it a bit more exciting, rather than if I've got quite a bit of pace in the car in a qualifying pole, rather than you guys just seeing me just drive off into the distance ahead of everybody else. I want to sort of see if I can maybe qualify in 10th position, have a really good battle, trying to win the race from there. Really seeing through practice, it was fastest from Hamilton, Rosberg, Ricciardo, Massa, Bottas and Alonso. So there's quite a few different constructors there in the top 6-7 cars, which could maybe lead to some interesting races. So here we are then into qualifying 1, I believe. Going to set out a time on the prime tyres. As here we come around now to complete the lap, doing a 1:37.4 on these prime tyres, which is a really good lap. And to be honest, that I thought I wouldn't even extract everything I could out of that lap. I thought I could have gone faster, but look, I'm fastest on prime tyres ahead of people who are on setting times on option tyres. Okay, Hamilton and Rosberg aren't going to be setting times on options, but I'm still half a second faster than them on the prime tyres. So it sort of got me thinking whether in Q2 set a time on the prime tyres and sort of see if that can get me through to Q3, and then start on the prime tyres just to make things more interesting. Because if I'm going to be on the prime tyres, people are going to be overtaking me. I'm not going to have the pace to stay the front runners at the start. Whereas if I start on the soft tyres, I might just blitz it away or something. So if I start on the hard tyres, it changes the strategy up a bit. It means that I might have to do some overtaking later on in the race. So here we go, I'm just got to the end now of my first flying lap on the prime tyres in Q2, and I do a 36.2. It's incredible pace. That's faster than I did on the soft tyres in free practice. So it sort of underlines the fact that I've got really good pace in the car. And I really decided then at that point, I'm not even going to qualify in Q3. I'm going to start 10th on these prime tyres, and then it's going to make it interesting the race tomorrow, because then I'm going to have to fight my way through the field on these prime tyres. I'm going to have to play around the strategy, and I will be able to utilise the strategy to see how far I can go in the race and see how many people I can pick up. Just try and make it as interesting as possible for you guys. So here we are then in Q3, and I'm deciding not to set time, just skipping, just fast forwarding all this for a bit. So I'll see if I can get an idea, but I got a bit bored of fast forwarding it, and I just decided to skip to the race rather than qualify and then start in 10th position. So then, you know, I will have some overtaking to do, which hopefully will be very interesting for you guys to see rather than just a procession. So here we go then, start race day, sticking with the same strategy. So I'm going to do prime option, so then I'm going to have some really good pace in the middle part of the race in the options. And at the start, normally on the first stint when I do on option tyres, I never really have any pace on them because I've taken the best part out of them. Whereas on these primes, because they're a lot more durable, there will still be some good life in them, and I will be able to extract some good performance. And then as soon as it comes onto the option tyres, I can make them last a lot longer, and I can challenge people for pace. You know, I would be able to set some really quick lap times and make them last maybe 5 or 6 laps. Whereas if I was starting on them, I'd only be able to make them last 3 laps. And then I'd be doing, 5 laps with just trying to not lose as many positions to everybody else. Just to confirm that I'm starting on the prime tyres. As one of the F1 rules, to those who do not really follow F1, you have to start on the tyres that you qualify in Q2 if you get through to qualifying 3. So as I got through to qualifying 3, I have to use the start on the tyres that I qualified on in qualifying 2. So like everybody else, they would have got through on soft tyres, whereas I got through on the hard tyres, so I'm starting on them. It's just basically because the 2013 season of Formula 1, a lot of people not setting times in qualifying 3, because you had to start on the tyres that you set your time with in Q3. So you know, they wanted to have a good tyre choice and whatever. But now as you rev up to 5 lights, then here in Bahrain and lights out, away we go, and it's a pretty decent start. So you're on the prime tyres, they're able to get a much better start than Valtteri Bottas there. Now get alongside him, and we've got Massa going slow. Then as we're going between the McLaren and 2 Williams, is braking much later than them and getting a few positions around the outside there. So Alonso running a bit wide, as we squeeze him a bit to get the position up to 6th position now. It's probably been a good start for us. We've made it 4 places off the start. He's getting a bit of a slipstream now from Nico Hülkenberg. Let's see if we can make a move on him down into turn 3, I believe it is. I'm going to get up inside of Rosberg as well to get up into 4th place. It's been a cracking start for us on these prime tyres. As now we cut to a replay of the start, and as we watch Lewis Hamilton off the start, let's see what his start was like. And he had a pretty decent start. Alonso bogged down a bit off the start there. Steve Williams is not getting a great start as they head down towards turn 1, and Ricciardo's challenging Alonso there as we now see the cars heading down towards turn 1. Notice I was really much later than most people on the brakes, which really was why I was able to gain so many positions. As he's now slotted in behind Nico Hülkenberg all over the back of him. He was a Red Bull running wide. I was able to pick up a pretty good slipstream, to be honest, off Nico Hülkenberg. And then under brakes, I had so much more confidence. I was able to outbrake Nico Rosberg as well, which is a really different story to when I was at Australia, where I had no brake confidence. But I had a really good opening sequence of corners, and even able to gap Nico Rosberg on the prime tyres. So I really have had some good pace as we cut to the end of the first lap. You see, I'm probably about a second and a half back from Daniel Ricciardo as we go across the line. But it's been a pretty decent first lap, making up 6 positions off the start to get into 4th position as a confirmation 1.5 seconds behind Ricciardo. But I'm really able to gain quite a bit of time down into that break into that first corner. I don't know what it is, but I've got a lot more confidence on the brakes as now I head out up towards turn 3, and this is where I cut back down now towards the last corner. Much closer to Daniel Ricciardo now. Get a much better exit as well. They do run a bit wide. Let's see if we can pick up a slipstream from Daniel Ricciardo now, heading down towards turn 1. This need I do begin to pick up a bit of a slipstream, get a much bigger closing speed than Daniel Ricciardo there. Maybe he has some sort of problem with like a higher gear or something, because even with DRS I wouldn't close upon him that much. So he must have some sort of engine related issue, not getting power at high speed, or maybe he's lost a cylinder or lost a gear or something, because he really is struggling for a bit of speed there. I mean, the slipstream is really powerful on this game, but even so, I'm not sure if he'd be that powerful. See now, let's see me heading now down towards turn 3. Just trying to chase after Vettel and Hamilton. I do believe it's actually Sebastian Vettel's in the lead. Indeed it is. so he's had a good start in the Red Bull. I do believe in fact he's gapping Hamilton, as now we have to go defensive from Nico Rosberg because he can pick up a good slipstream from us. But look, if you compare this when I overtook Ricciardo, I was already complete the overtake of Ricciardo by now. So indeed, I do believe Ricciardo must be struggling some sort of engine related issue. Maybe he's lost 7th gear or 8th gear, so he's not got the pace of us. Now I'm actually gapping Rosberg a bit, underlying the pace that we have in this car. That I'm able to gap a Mercedes who's on the faster tyre, which is worth about a second a lap. So I have got some really good pace in the car this weekend. You see there, Sebastian Vettel in a 36.4. He's got some good pace in that Red Bull, which is something we'll have to watch out for. For when we start challenging for the race. He's now cut to lap 11, which is our pit stop. We'll have to sort of see where we come out in relation to everybody. But Sebastian Vettel, he's only 4 seconds behind us, as you can see there. Excuse me. So this strategy hasn't really sort of paid off for us in this first stint, because when we come out of the pits, we'll probably be about 18 seconds behind Sebastian Vettel. So we're gonna have a lot of time to make up on the option tyres when they go onto the hard tyres. So sort of it's gonna have to really push now in this next stint of the race, just to see how much of a gap we can close down to Hamilton and Vettel, just to see what we can see where we can finish, see if we can maybe challenge one of them for second place. I do believe we're pretty secure in 4th place, as we see that's a Sauber going past us, not really challenging for the lead. But then again, we've just lost a place to Ricciardo. It's not Ricciardo, Rosberg, sorry, but we immediately get a bit of a run on the exit against him, and we get the position off him. So we have been able to take that position back off him fairly quickly, which is crucial. So I do believe now we're on the faster tyre than him, we should be able to gap him, and indeed we should be able to finish above him now in the race. We see we got a nice run at Adrian Sutil on the last of the late breakers there. Thought him a bit of a dummy going into that corner, and was able to get it up the inside of him pretty well, which is really crucial because we can't really spend too much time getting held up by him. So now we break into the penultimate corner and get a fairly decent run out. I'm 6.167 seconds behind Lewis Hamilton now. Really got to close that gap down to him as much as I can while these option tyres are at their best, and just see you know, what sort of gap I can get to him for when I pick for my final stop, and just see how fast I can go at this stage of the race. Close the gap down to him as much as possible. Consistency is definitely key, not making mistakes. It'll take 3 attempts out of him in the last sector, so consistency really is key. As now we cut to lap 15, and the tyres, you know, are just beginning now to get past. They've lost their initial speed of them, and they've lost their sharpness, which is crucial for sitting lap times. And now to lap 20, and the gap sort of held about 4.5 seconds really. It did get down as low as 3.7 seconds, but then it started going back up again as I lost tyre wear. As we ended up holding Lewis Hamilton in the pits, he had to wait to get an exit before he could leave, so that's going to help us out a bit. This just means the gap will have closed now to about 3.7 seconds, something like that, which really will be crucial now in taking Lewis Hamilton's place. So we sort of gained about 1.5 seconds on him in the pit stops, which is crucial, as we see we get overtaken by a car as we head down towards turn 1, but it's only Marussia, so they'll be getting out of our way as soon as they see blue flags. So now then we've got to chase down Lewis Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel while these tyres are at their best, as we overtake we lap the Marussia as we head now down towards turn 3, trying to get a good run, basically extract as much as we can from these tyres in the first period of the race to chase down Lewis Hamilton. As you see there, he's getting held up a bit by traffic going through the fast right and left handers, which again really is crucial for us to try and get past him. Now every bit of speed helps against him, every bit of time loss that he has will help us to chase him down. So now we head into this really tricky corner. That's got really tricky to get your braking spot right and get the best exit from there, because you turn and you lock up. If you leave the braking too late, you run wide, and it's very tricky to see who go fastest. So I found new fastest lap with a 35.5. Has now got the gap to Lewis Hamilton down to 1.1 seconds. As well, there's Vettel going very slow in the apex, and were we able to get him? Not quite, but we really have closed the gap down to Vettel and Hamilton. As Hamilton's really closed down Vettel and overtaking him for the lead. And we can't spend too much time getting held up behind Vettel now, as indeed we're able to put a really good pass on him down into turn 3, pretty standard. And now we've got to try and get out of Vettel and try and close down Lewis Hamilton now as much as possible in these remaining laps. But he's got a gap of 1.8 seconds to us now, and now he's been freed up by Sebastian Vettel. It's really going to be quite crucial to, quite tricky to try and close him down, as indeed he's extended that gap now to 3 seconds. He really has got some good pace in that car, Lewis Hamilton, and it will be very tricky for us to overtake him, I believe. But if we can sort of stay in the second place and get a Vettel and stay with Hamilton, I'll be pleased, because starting now in 10th place and finishing second really will be an achievement. But in this last few laps, now it's cut to lap 29, the tyres just started going up, and you see the bands that have appeared on the tyres, and I'm just struggling for grip now, so I'm trying to keep Sebastian Vettel behind us just for this lap now, just to try and stay ahead of him and get second place, which really will boost our championship fight. I see Sebastian Vettel now not really able to get a good run at us down the straight. You know, they do have the Renault engine in, admittedly, these Red Bulls, so they will be slow in a straight line, but we've only got a Ferrari engine in, not quite a Mercedes, but we do indeed finish second to mark a great race for Ferrari. Really, I'm pleased with that race, you know. Starting off in 10th place on the prime tyres, we had a really good strategy today, and I'm very pleased with that. The strategy call paid off. Excuse me. And I really do hope that that has made it more interesting for the viewers, because I know that especially the first race in Melbourne now has been overtaking quite a lot, but hopefully some more overtakes in that to make it more interesting. But thank you all for watching. I do appreciate it. If you're new around here, please do subscribe. And if you enjoyed that, please do like. Thank you. I'll see you next time.